So hello everyone, welcome to my very small YouTube channel about knitting, mostly knitting. My name is Isabelle, I am in France, I have 3 sons and I have 3 cats. Some say it's related and these cats are in the house right now. They went out and they are back. It was -4 Celsius this morning. It's 24.5 Fahrenheit. Very cold for my Normandy, very cold for my cats. So anyway, they are all in the house, and today I'm filming a particular video. It's gonna be in my knitting adventures playlist. It's about my year in knitting, all that I have knit this year, and what is my thoughts, a year or some months after I've made these projects. And this is what I wanted to report on today. So if that sounds good to you, and from English is not my first language. I used to live in the United States, but that was over 30 years ago. So if that sounds good to you, and if my mistakes and hesitations do not bother you too much, please stay tuned. So first things first, what am I wearing? And I chose 2 knits that I made in 2021 so that I can have all my knits around me that I made in 2022. So this is my beloved Sotabosc shawl that I made with Dererum Natura Ulysse in quartz. I love this pattern. I love it's really warm and light and comforting when the weather is extremely cold. And my sweater I finished also in 2021 is the Sotabosc shawl. I forgot. Every time I forget to tell who the designer is. I usually write it down on the screen, but I'm very sorry. So it's Elena Soler Jansa. So it's the 52 Weeks of Shawls book from Lane magazine, and there is another pattern I'm almost casting on. Anyway, my sweater is the Scandinavian style sweater by Catherine Johnson. So this is a free pattern on Ravelry, and I made it also with the Rerum Natura Cyrano, so that's the Ulysses big brother. And the white part here is some camel yarn from Fildar, which is a commercial company here in France. And this camel yarn doesn't behave very well. It's really floppy, stretchy, and peels a lot. So the sweater I made with the year before that, I usually wear it in the house. I don't wear it outside any longer. And one way to stay warm, and we are in the morning and I have to go teach this afternoon up to 8 o'clock at night. So I will buckle up and cover myself, because we are expecting snow tonight, and I've arranged for tomorrow and the day after that to be able to work from home, because if there is a lot of snow, it's going to be a huge problem here in Normandy. We have no equipment, no nothing. So I will be working from home most probably. So I have, according to Ravelry, made 28 projects. I have a glass of water with me because I guess I am going to be talking quite a bit today. 28 projects in 2022. So that's quite a bit. That's more than in 2021. If I do look that was 15 projects in 2021, and or at least that I made a project in Ravelry. So there are a bit more because I made a few of my own trendy little scarves that I haven't created project pages in Ravelry for these ones. I may at some point, but anyway. So that my first finished object of 2022 was started in September 2021. And it is a Laurenson sweater by Lily Kate France, and made with this yellow mohair I get every year from the Pyrenees. This sweater, this mohair is a natural dye, so it bled a lot when I washed the yarn even before I knit the sweater, because that's what the lady told me, who has the goats and makes the yarn, that I needed to wash the yarn beforehand. After I washed it and after I washed the sweater when it was finished, everything was okay. So big, huge balloon sleeves. I love this pattern. I've made it twice. I love the side detail. A very light and very, how many did I say how many grams? No, I did not. I should say that, but very light, very warm. One thing with the Laurenson sweater pattern, I made two, so I like the pattern and I do recommend it. I'm not a 3/4 length type of warm sweater. It's not my preferred length, because I still need to knit arms warmers to wear with it, because it's too cold. I'm too cold if I don't have the sleeves down to my wrists, and the sweater is too warm to wear with short sleeves. So yeah, I do recommend that pattern. If you do like 3/4 length sleeves, fine. I did not want, I knew that when I knit that one, because I had already made one before that. I did not want to turn it to long sleeves because it would totally change the style of the sweater, and I did not want that, but I need to knit arm warmers with the same yarn to go with that. Okay, next project was my New Year's cast on. I have to say, it's the community and the world knitting community that introduced me to special days cast on, birthday cast on, New Year's cast on. So this was my January 1st cast on. I finished it in March 15th, so that's 2.5 months to knit. Half and half triangles wrap by Pearl Soho. It's a free pattern, and I used the Rerum Natura Ulysse once again in let me see what the color is. Ciel, so that's sky, and Iroise, that's the name of the sea. It's a kind of a jewel tone shawl with blue and sort of a greenish blue or bluish green, and with some gray in it. And Iroise is the sea that is at the very western part of France mainland. If you go all the way west in Brittany, and you go at the tippity top of where you can go and still be in France, the further west you go, it's the Iroise Sea. Anyway, this I love the knit. It has a kind of a story, because I decided to knit that one when Katy Jack Knits had Jackie and Caitlin had their hashtag going on, and most probably a giveaway and a knit along with it. I do not recall exactly. with that pattern. A huge number of shawls were knit at that time following that, and I knew I wanted that color combination. I already had I could buy, and it was during the pandemic, I bought it. I could buy the Ciel colorway, but I could not find the Iroise colorway at all. It was out of stock. The Rerum Natura would not be able to get more yarn and dye the yarn because of shortage of transportations mainly. Anyway, it took me over a year to get the yarn, so I made it, way after the hashtag and all the hype was going on. But anyway, if you go the furthest west, you see the Iroise sea and the sky above. And if I do that, I will, if I watch towards Caitlin and Jackie, this is what I'm going to be seeing. So this is why I called that project From Europe to USA and Back. And I wear it, I have to say, mostly at home because it's an extremely thick and dense fabric. It's not drapey as the one you see when people have used linen quills. So I think my next half and half, I haven't made a lot, one since that, I have two. My next half and half triangles wrap will be with some yarn that will have some drape and a much lighter yarn. It is extremely warm. It's almost like a blanket. And I've been going to work when it's cold, warmer than now, just with the wrap and my backpack. And I can assure you I'm not cold whenever it's, just a bit chilly. So I would say fall and spring. And I forgot, do I recommend the pattern? Absolutely. It's miles and miles and miles of stockinette. And if you want a mindless knit, that's the one for you. If you are not afraid, because the first half, you have all the 270 something stitches. And as you wrap and turn or, do German short rows, you have one stitch less at a time, so it gets shorter and shorter. The second half, it gets longer and longer and longer and longer. And when you have that much to knit as a height, maybe you are not even 2/3 on the way to be finished. So you have to keep that in mind. You have to be patient. Otherwise, it's a wonderful, wonderful piece. Next, also a pattern by Pearl Soho. Did I say that? I don't recall. A pattern by Pearl Soho. It's the half and half washcloth. I made that with cotton from my stash. This one is all, not very well. It was in my bathroom. I was using it. It's dried a bit like that on the heat warmer. But anyway, it's with cotton from my stash. This one is with the number of stitches recommended into the pattern. I don't recall if it was 40 or 70 or something. Too big for a face cloth. That's what I wanted. This one I made with far less stitches, and it's perfect for a face cloth to remove makeup and wash your face and everything. So after these two ones, I haven't made any additional ones. I will to use up some of the cotton I have in my stash. So this cotton I like. It's quite rough, so you have to like that. But to make, I have some other cotton. I don't like the color. Something my mother gave me, and but it's much softer because it has rayon in it, and so rayon is from wood, or if I'm mistaken, it's the one that is made from wood paste. And it's going to be much softer, and I may need some for gifts, not for this Christmas because it's a bit late for me, to do that now. But I do recommend that pattern. If you use the regular number of stitches that is in the pattern, it's going to be quite big, as almost a face towel. If you reduce the number of stitches, you can have a face makeup remover type of thing object, and this is what I wanted at first. So yes, I'm happy with the pattern, and I will knit it again. Okay, next is a sweater I thought I knit way before that, maybe because I've worn it a lot. I have the feeling I made it way before that, but no, I started it at the end of January 30th, and I finished it April 3rd. So this in 2022. It's the Pull Zenzi by Marie-Amélie Designs. Marie-Amélie has stopped designing. She's made all of her patterns available for free. This one is from a book I had from her, the book Livre Ensemble, together. And this pattern has not been released in a PDF file or on Ravelry or anywhere on her website is closed. So if you did not buy the book, you can't have the pattern. So my lady cat is talking to the birds, I guess. Anyway, this is every time I wear it, people talk about the sweater to me. It's mohair cardé, so the rough mohair I bought from the Pyrenees. It's not brushed, so all the fiber hasn't, come out of the hair, of the mohair hair hasn't come out. So it's a rougher yarn and with a beautiful stitch definition. So in bleu de France, French blue, and the brownish yellow, because they say it's a brown, but I see as a yellow. Is a collaboration between Laine Paysanne and Hall. Hall is a concept store in Paris that dyes yarn and with natural dyes and fabrics and things like that. And so they made 4 brownish, greenish, yellowish type of colors, very natural colors with natural dyes. And I had bought, I do not recall, maybe 3 or 4 balls. I still have skeins. I still have, I only use half of one and I have the rest, so I need to do something with it. And a beautiful sweater. I love my floats, and it's extremely warm. Mainly because here you almost have a double layer. And it's extremely warm. I wear it a lot, and it's very light and warm. And so far, all of these knits that I have been talking about, except the cotton ones, so the washcloth and the t-shirts I'm gonna show you later, none of my woolen knits have been washed. I mean, washed. After I blocked it, I just, I should stop saying, I just bring them outside or in the house, have them hanging in the house. And if there is some kind of smell that I don't like, it goes away by itself. And I have more of that mohair cardé. I bought more last year, and I have specific projects in mind, so I will get to that at some point. Talking about cotton t-shirt, I did not know the one I made. The one next object I made next was the t-shirt. It's my t-shirt from the past. So that's also cotton. Oh, you have. There's a piece of cotton hanging in there. That's also cotton from my stash that I reclaimed from another sweater. I did not like the finished look of it. And I made that t-shirt based on another t-shirt that my mother made for me 40 years ago, 35 years ago. I do not recall. I had it when I was in the USA, and I came back home France in 31 years ago. So yeah, my t-shirt from the past, I made 2 rectangles, one longer for the back, no short rows, I just made it longer and hoped for the best. Yeah, and it worked out okay. 2 rectangles, an I-cord edging. I did, make some sewing points here at the shoulders, the same way my the other t-shirt was. And I've been wearing it a lot. So this piece and the other t-shirt that I'm going to be talking about next, or a few projects next to that, these I wash. I wear once and I wash. The washcloth, I have a whole series of washcloth that I do not use paper or cotton any longer, and I haven't been for many years. I use once and I wash. So this is being washed. I'm always, worrying about the color being, you see, it starts to be a bit yellow. Not much because of makeup sometimes, but mostly because I think SPF, if you use SPF on your face, and I do daily, SPF stains, and even if I put some kind of product there to remove the stains, it doesn't always work. So I'm kind of being careful with my objects that are, even commercial shirts that are white, to be very careful with stains around the neck, because it's always a pity to me to see that I have had some, a sweater or a t-shirt or a shirt I like, and I have to stop wearing it in public because, the color is not perfectly white and crisp. So yeah, one t-shirt that I have been enjoying a lot, and that has been reminiscent of what my past was. So next, another spectacular piece that I wash from time to time. It's Scraggly the Color by Meret Butzberger, that I knit once again with that cotton I reclaimed from another piece, another sweater I did not like for the washcloth. I'm almost out of the yellow. I don't think I have any more yellow. A very, very, very beautiful piece that I wear mostly in the spring or in the fall over a coat or jacket, or whatever I'm wearing. It's quite big. I knit the larger size, and I think at some point I will knit again a smaller size, and not necessarily with cotton, even though I think cotton is giving an extremely nice and good stitch definition, and it's serving the pattern really well. And but I will make it at some point with wool, and I will most probably knit a smaller size. Do I recommend the pattern? Absolutely. Is it easy? I would say it's medium easy. It's not complicated, because no technique, absolutely no complicated technique is in that color, but you have to always know where you are and always count. I use stitch markers about every side of every repeat, so that if there is a mistake, I don't have too much to unravel to correct my mistake. If I don't, when I'm at the marker and I'm not where I'm supposed to be, that means just before that I made a mistake. But if you want an easy knit that requires concentration and attention, that's the one you need. So it needs some brain presence, I would say. And it's very well written. So she made Scraggly the socks. I'm waiting for a sweater, and if she doesn't come up with one pattern, I'll use that as a yoke for a sweater or something, because it has a maximum visual effect, visual impact. Next is my first muscle bear hat, and you know, when I say that I should listen to myself and do what I say and do and not, it's not the first hat I knit, but I had knit hats, but that was very long time ago, I did not recall. So I knit that hat with a skein of La Bien-Aimée Fiori that I was going to use with my sorrel sweater. Thing is, this color was going, you know, once I ordered the skeins online, and I should have talked to them. Once I received Fiori, it was not at all fitting into my fade. It was too light, it was too pink. So, well, I talked with them and I got another color anyway. And it took me a long time to decide myself and, you know, tell myself, call them or email them and they will answer, and then they will help you with choosing a color. Anyway, so with that beautiful skein of merino singles from La Bien-Aimée, I can't, you know, it's an extremely expensive yarn. I'm not telling you you should buy that by any means, but if you can, it's a real treat. And this pattern by Isolda Tig, it's really fun. So you need two hats and you fold one inside of the other, and you have a double layered hat. You can, you know, many people have made different colors. I used the whole skein for that. None is left. And when I say I should listen to myself, it's because I don't recall. I think I need the adult medium size, and I should have need the small size. It's very big, and I was very frustrated because I did not want to unravel it. I could have ripped it out and knit it again. I did not want to do that. So I just placed an elastic thread at the middle of the hat, and I wear it very slouchy. So, and it works that way. So either I want that side that is a bit more greenish and a bit less pink and more gray, or I usually wear it on that side that is a bit more funny and bright. And at some point I started to see pulling, so I waited for pulling to occur. And when it was going to, you know, I saw the pulling happening, I started to knit, you know, from, I should stop saying, you know, when I edit the videos, and if I would get €1 at each time I say, you know, I would be very rich. Anyway, when I start to see the pulling, I started to knit from the inside and from helical knitting from the inside and from the outside of the skein. Difficult, and I guess that's why I did not want to unravel it. I usually wear it on that brighter and happier and pinkier side, and I wear it slouchy. So when I say I should listen to myself, and I don't know what could I do to convince myself I need to knit hats in a small size. Maybe I imagine myself, my head being bigger than it actually is. Do I recommend this pattern? Absolutely. Do I recommend the yarn? Absolutely. You can, you know, go look on Ravelry. Many people have made many different muscle burr. Each time you make one, you stripe it, you name it. You can have two colors from on the hat. Yeah, it's a popular pattern, and there are reasons why, and it's a very popular yarn, and there are also many good reasons why. So next is another sweater I love with a yarn I love. It's my Madeleine sweater by Sumin Kim. This is the first time I encountered wrap stitches. I love wrapped stitches, and so I made it with Holzgarn tides. The colorway is pearl, Tides, it's 70% wool and 30% silk. I think if it's not the right composition, I write it here. And a very original line, a bit boxy, a bit short, but not too much. I think I made it a bit longer than the pattern called for. And a balloon sleeves that end up in a very beautiful way. The way it was looking on her samples is what sold me. The pattern, the stitch pattern itself, the look of the sweater, but it's like, to me it was looking like a bowl that was going in a bit at the tip of the sleeves and at the bottom of the sweater, and I did like that shape very much. So yeah, do I recommend the pattern? Yes. You have to know it's less detailed than what you may be used to, but nothing that you can't work around. The yarn is very nice, and this sweater I wear against my skin. I usually do not wear anything under, so this one I have been washing maybe every 5 to 10 times I wear it, because I don't want too much body odors that would stay and on the sweater. But other than that, yeah, a very enjoyable knit and a very nice finished object that I love and like a lot. Okay, next, we are getting there. It's a sweater, once again, I have knots that you can see. A cotton sweater that I finished sometimes in May, at the end of May 2022. It's the simple summer tweed top-down v-neck t-shirt. The title, the name of the pattern stops with v-neck, and as always, I will link everything down below. It's by Heidi Kiermeyer, and it's a free pattern. And if you want to knit that sweater, I do recommend you have a look at some of the projects. Someone has made a template, not a template, a spreadsheet. Has made a spreadsheet to calculate all the increases and decreases for the raglan part and the v-neck part. I used some very bright pink cotton. Some people have asked if it was red or pink. It's pink, very bright fuchsia pink cotton that my mother gave me. I would not have bought that color. I have a scarf that is almost that color, maybe a bit pinkier and a bit softer, but not that bright fuchsia, and I have no garment that is as bright as that. And so it was from her stash that she gave me, and I like it a lot. So yeah, I do recommend the pattern. The managing the v-neck and the raglan sleeves and front and back, I did use the spreadsheet. It did help me to understand what the pattern was asking me to do. I made it, the same as the Madeleine sweater, a bit boxy, a bit shorter, not very long. And for the rest, I followed the pattern. I fiddled around at the end of the v-neck. It's not very elegant. It's not very nice, but you can't see it when I wear it, so that's fine. And this one also I wear against my skin, and I wash almost every time I wear it. It's a denser fabric, so it's not a plain summer type of t-shirt, but you do sweat if the temperatures are a bit higher, and I absolutely do not like body odors. My cats are kind of trying to get to me on the table, and body odors on the sweaters and on the cotton in particular. It keeps body odors a lot. So this one, as the white ones, I wash every time I wear them. Do I recommend the pattern? Yes. I did not say this cotton is Bernard Cajun cotton. It's a very irregular cotton, and I like the finished fabric, so I was thinking I would make some other washcloths with that, but no, I still have some left, and either I'll make some kind of maybe a shawl or something, I'm not sure, but or another t-shirt that I have to find a pattern for it. But yeah, I will finish this cotton and in this color for garments rather than washcloths or other type of objects. So next is the monster knit. The same kind of monster knit the half and half triangles wrap can be. Half and half triangles wrap is very easy to knit. It takes a long time. So is the Slipstravaganza. So this is my Slipstravaganza that I made from April to July 2022, and so most probably the story. I decided to choose my colors around that blue yarn by Trellis. Trellis is a French indie dyer who lives in Greece. And when I saw that color that is called, Ice Sky, yeah, that is called Ice Sky, I said, I would like a Slipstravaganza with that type of colors. And Millie from, I will write here because the name escapes me right now, but Millie had made a Slipstravaganza that was a bit in that type of color range with American Southwest vibes with blue and caramelly colors and brown colors. And I liked her interpretation a lot, so I sort of decided I wanted to do that around that skin color. I did not buy it because once again it's quite expensive, and I did not want to spend that much. And at some point I went to her site and her website, and there were only 1 or 2 skins left. So I bought one, and I said, okay, I'm buying one. And at the same time I bought the dark brown that has some kind of deep violet reflex that you may not be able to see. And so this brown is deep end. So I had those 2 skins, and I did not know what to do next. And on her site I did not find the caramelly and the gray color that I found on Zakami Yarn's website. So I think this one is Cinnamon Stone, the caramel color, and Persepolis for the gray, lightly speckled color. I love that shawl. Every time I wear it, some people have stopped me in the street to ask me where I had found that shawl. And I'm very proud to say I made it myself. Yes. So yeah, and it's a big shawl, but very light, very drapey, and this is why I would like to make another half and half triangles wrap with a much lighter yarn than the one I chose, Ulysse, or the one I had chosen for the project I made before that. And both of them are chunkier yarns, and the shawl is more like a blanket, but it feels like a blanket, not the size of the shawl making it a blanket. It feels like a blanket. It's heavy and it's stiffer. This one is very flowy, warm and flowy. So I want to make another. I decided after I had knit that one and I had seen how type of sock yarn behave in shawls, that I wanted to make another half and half triangles wrap with fingering type of yarn. Yeah, and a beautiful and much loved pattern. I did not say it's a pattern by Stephen West, of course. Do I recommend the pattern? Yes, it's very well written. You have many videos he made for every. It was, yeah, I think it was the Mystery Knit along 2 years ago. He makes videos for each clues. I did have to watch the video for that little triangle part. The rest was, I watched the video to give him my views, but mostly intuitive, and I chose the larger border and the I-cord edging. And once you have almost 1,000 stitches to bind off with an I-cord, you think, you know, yeah, well, I'm going to be there for a couple of days, and I was there for a couple of days. Anyway, if you have time and if you like monster projects, this one is a very nice finished object, and you can, you know, browse through Ravelry to have lots of inspiration for colors and different type of yarn. So yeah, it's a must-made if you are going to want a long project. Next is a scarf I don't like. The pattern is fine. The pattern is My Friend Zoe by Rose Williams. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I used cotton that my mother gave me. It's really rough. It has little spikes sticking out that makes it very rough against the skin. I was thinking I will use that scarf when I go hiking, and I want something light but you know, a bit warm around my neck. Not even. So I don't know what I'm going to be doing with that. I don't wear it. The pattern is fine. It's the yarn, and the yarn was what? From an online website that existed years and years ago, that would have clothes and things for the kitchen and cheapo yarn and cheapo cotton. No, the pattern, you can knit the pattern. It's a free pattern, so you can have a look. The yarn, I still have some left in my stash. I'm not sure I'm going to do anything, not even for washcloths. So maybe if one day I make little objects or little animals, I have that in my, you know, in my mind at some point to be doing this. This will be good, only good for stuffing, nothing more. Okay, next is another big shawl project. It took me, so it was during the summertime, so I was knitting every day, almost every day. It took me a month to knit it. It's Painting Triangles Shawl by Stephen West, once again, from his book. And this project I like. I can still smell some of my summer perfume. Yeah, it's clean, but you know, cotton can keep, you know, some odors. This one is better than body odors. And this knit has a story to me, because I had this cotton by Cotton King Tours Deluxe. I do not recall where I bought it, Hobby I think, and I did not like at all this cotton. It's very splitty, so I used wooden needles to use it, to knit it. And I still have some left in my stash. I had made a papillon butterfly shawl for my beloved sister-in-law, and in green tones, and I had this fade in, you know, blue tones. I had two skeins and 2 cakes, and I wanted to make the same papillon butterfly shawl for myself in blue. Every time I was thinking about casting it on, it was making me being tired. Just because the cotton is not pleasant to be knitting with. When when Stephen West released his book painting shawls, I think, I do not recall, I will write it here if it's not the right name. I did not think to bring it up beforehand. I really liked this shawl pattern. It's triangles. Yes, it reminds me of boat sails that I can see on the seaside when I walk and when the weather and the tide allows. And yeah, little boats. Yeah, that's what the blue and the dark blue triangles, you know, remind me of. And so I decided to cast it on. It was one of my summer knits. It was a long knit. I'm not sure I went up to the last repeat. I'm not quite sure. But I stopped mainly because I was running out of that darkest color. And I would not have had enough yarn or cotton to make one repeat and one complete repeat and make the border lighter. I did not want to do that, so I stopped whenever I sort of decided I was going to be running out making the border. And so I did. I'm almost out, or if not completely out of the darkest color. Anyway, a very, very nice and enjoyable shawl. A nice project that allowed me, one, to knit from my stash, two, to use this cotton I did not like to turn it into a finished object, a shawl that I love. So yeah, many positive vibes with that project, and mainly I like turning things, whether it's objects or in my life. Unhappy, I like turning unhappy things to happy things. So I liked turning my very difficult state of mind regarding that cotton that is extremely splitty and difficult to knit with into a project that I like. And also, people stop me when I wear that, a bit less than the slip extravaganza, but they do. Mostly my colleagues have asked where I did get that beautiful piece. Okay, next is the Mystical Peonies Call. It's the stitch pattern I used with Trellis last year's mystery box, with a pattern by Meretz Butzberger. So there was no call, it was beanie and mittens. And so I used all of my trellis yarn I had left from these, so from the pink peonies. I'm not sure how I remember the name for her first mystery box that she made for her birthday, the mystical path for last Christmas. Am I getting tired? Last Christmas. So, and what was left from my slip extravaganza, because I did not think the blue would go well into that. So I started with the green merino and the green mohair, the same for Mystical Path. Then when I went out of the mohair, I used the fresh peonies mohair that I had. And once I ran out of the green merino, I used the rest of the merino from the Fresh Peonies project. And once I ran out of the pink merino, I used the brown. So I'm almost complete. I'm completely out of the brown. I went to the end, so the deep end from my Sleep Extravaganza. I have a bit of mohair left, I think, I'm not sure. So it was a stash project with all trellis yarn, Meret's pattern, and before I started to record, I was looking for it because it was in one of my bags. I've been wearing it a lot. It's very warm and very squishy and light. And what maybe noted with these yarns and the stitch pattern, Meret released the hat and the wrist warmers pattern recently, a few weeks back, because otherwise it was only available in the box. And Trellis has released these yarns that you can buy, or that you could buy on her site, because you know, I guess once she's out of things, she needs time to dye more, but you could get both the pattern and the yarn as separate objects. I guess she released the yarn maybe this fall, and Meret the pattern a few weeks ago. So next I'm going to be talking about all the little scarves I've knit, even though they have been scattered from, when did I start? In August. From August up to now, in between my different projects, and some of them have not even, you do know. I've not enough made projects in Ravelry because I've knit many of them. So that little scarf trend, that petite knit, started with a Sophie scarf, who's got a huge hype and attention. So I decided to knit the Heatwave scarf by Pia Trends. So I've made two versions, one in orange with the orange Fonty mohair that has kind of a body to it, and one with the La Bien-Aimée mohair that I'm using for my sorel. I don't like to have negative reviews, but I do know that some of you have knit that pattern on to my recommendation, and I was very happy when I just made it. What happens is, wearing it, the center part of this mohair that is knit with big needles, I do not recall, 8mm needles, doesn't stay open and flat. It all crunches up in a small thread, almost a thread. And even, even with the Fonty mohair that I can, it folds in two around my neck. It doesn't stay open that way. If I want to stay it open, I have to wrap it twice, but then it ends up here and I have just that to make a knot. And I think, I do not know if you have, I know some of you have knit that project, and what I do not know if it does the same to you, and if it does, I'm very sorry, because I don't like it at all. I don't like the way the scarf behaves, and in particular in the central point with mohair knit with pig needles. So the later part that looks like kind of bunny ears, that can be just in front of your chest and keep you warm, I like, and it does that. But the central part doesn't behave the way it did when the first time I wore it, after just finishing it and blocking it. And it kind of shocks me, because if I wrap it twice around my neck and tie it up, it sort of shocks. I may use the orange one so that you can see better. If I do that, you see how it goes? Do you see how it goes? And the bunny ears, it doesn't stay the way it was after I blocked it. And if I want to wrap it twice around my neck and tie it up, it does, but it's quite, quite small. It almost chokes me. It's too tight around my neck, and I don't like it. So I'm quite sorry. I did recommend this pattern to you. I know some of you told me or have showed on Instagram that they had knit. I think it would be nice to keep that part that can be warm in front of your chest, but you have to double, triple, or quadruple the mohair for the central part. Otherwise, it's not gonna be working, or at least it doesn't work for me. So I keep them. They are still in my drawer, and I don't wear them. So after that, after being a bit disappointed, I looked around for another small scarf pattern. Everybody was knitting the Sophie scarf, and the Sophie scarf is in garter stitch, and I do not like much the way garter looks when it's stretched out. My half and half triangle wrap hasn't stretched out because the yarn is quite holding it on itself, and I do not like how the V stitches get elongated between the purl bumps, and I don't like the finish look, and I've never liked the finish look of garter once it stretches it out. If it doesn't stretch, good, but once it's stretched out, I don't like it. So I first made the Sweet Little Scarfette by Amber O'Brien. It's knit as a sock, and you have two pointy ends. So I made that one first for Paulin's girlfriend for Christmas, and once I showed it to him, he said, yeah, please knit one for me. So I have two of them for the two of them. And so these are going to be their own present for Christmas. And in addition to the scarf, I made another muscle burr for Paulin's girlfriend with the same. So I did not say it, the yarn is that big ball of acrylic yarn my mother gave me. I have two of them, and it's acrylic also, this gray part, so that they can throw the knits in the washing machine and they don't have to be caring about too much about how they wash them. So I made a muscle burr for Paulin's girlfriend that she can choose to wear on the gray or on the white side, or with the brim or not. So that's some of their presents for Christmas. And the Sweet Little Scarfette is a nice one. So you knit in the round for that whole length. So once you have it around your neck, it's double layer, so it's very warm. So if you are interested into knitting stockinette in a round for quite a bit of a length, the same way you do for the muscle burr hat, yes, I do recommend these patterns. Okay, next is when I came up with my own little scarf that was, out of frustration from the heatwave scarf. And I made it with Holzgarn tied held double. I do not recall if I said so for my Madeleine sweater, but it was Holzgarn tied held double. And I made one for myself out of this frustration, and I used 1x1 rib because I knew it would not collapse around my neck. And I used a small stitch embellishment, two little pointy ends, and I had not planned to release the pattern, but I did, and a lot, over 1,000, more than 1,500 people have downloaded it, and yeah, I like it a lot. So this one, I've been also washing it quite a bit. I like the way it sits on the neck. It doesn't collapse. I made it long enough so that you can have it with a bow tie. I usually do that, a bow tie on your side with a, with a crisp shirt and a jacket. It's quite elegant, and you can make it quite sporty too. And so I made one holding tides single, so it's much lighter and much drapier. This one holds on itself much better. And I made more with that white acrylic yarn that my mother gave me to make other presents to other people. And I have some other acrylic yarn. Green one. One is for my sister-in-law because she loves green and she wears green a lot. Another one is most probably for the person who comes to clean my house. And I may make one, and I think this green, I like this green. So I'm most probably gonna be making one later on for myself and with a hat. So yeah, that was my, and I've made a few more that I don't have here with me. They are wrapped up for other people. So that was my own shameless plug about my own trendy little scarf. And a very easy knit, one by one rib. You increase and you decrease towards both, and on the same side if you wish. I've seen people do on either side. And one by one ribbing, you knit the length that is suitable to you. If you want to make a little motif like this one, you should have an odd number of stitches. You can make it the width that suits you, the yarn that suits you, the gauge that suits you. So basically you can do anything you want to do with it. So I like that even more than the rest. Next is another hat I made for my eldest son, Samuel, girlfriend. It's the Manhattan hat by Toriu, also with that white acrylic yarn from my mother's stash. I made the triple brim so that she gets to be quite warm. And I had to redo the Kitchener stitch bind off because it was a bit too tight, so I unraveled. It was not very easy to unravel, but anyway I did. And I made it again so that the crown be quite flat with these decreases. And this motif I like a lot. I hope she likes it, and if it's a bit too big, she can make it she can fold the brim 4 times. And yeah, I'm gonna give her one of the my little trendy little scarf for Christmas. And yeah, that's for Sam's girlfriend. Do I recommend the pattern? Yes, I do recommend the pattern because I've already made one for me after that, and you're gonna be seeing it. I like the finished look of it, and I like the way it sits top, high on the head. Not everybody like that, but I've seen her wear commercial hats that were that way, so I think she's gonna like it. Okay, next is the Aglia shawl by Meiju KP. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, so you can use it freely. And I made it with last summer's mystery box for that Release made for her birthday, and it was the Myth something. I will write it down. So with the Myth colorway and the Orient Belt colorway, so the green one is the green with dark speckles, the Orient Belt, and the yellow one with the bright speckles and multicolored speckles is the Orient one, no, Myth one. I do like this pattern very much. It's a half, you know, it's an elongated shape with a border. You need short rows with a very easy lace. And what I had said is that I don't think yellow fits my skin color very well, so I usually wear the green part more next to my own skin, so that it fits me better. I would not have bought that yarn color, wasn't it in a mystery box, and I do understand people not liking buying mystery boxes because you prefer to know what you're buying. I agree, I completely agree with that, but it's, you know, it's Trellis and I like her and I want to support her, and she did not make any Christmas mystery box this year. And all in all, I'm very happy. The pattern is fantastic. I do encourage you, yeah, my lady cat wants to go out. I do encourage you to knit that shawl. It's light and it's a small shawl, a smaller shawl that, you know, fits very well under a jacket, like the same way my next shawl will be. And with short rows, nothing difficult, a bit of lace, nothing difficult, and a very rhythmic and enjoyable pattern for an enjoyable finished object. She's getting quite impatient, but I'm not sure that I'm gonna be letting them out, because I went back home for lunch and I'm filming it lunchtime, and I'm going back to work, and I will be working up to 8 p.m. tonight, so I'm not sure I want to leave them out once I'm away from the house. So if they are getting to be too impatient, I may have to stop the video. I'm not gonna let them out. Usually what happens when they ask and I don't let them out, they have a big house for themselves, so they are not like in prison or anything. Maybe they ask for 5 or 10 minutes and after they stop. So let's see what happens. Next is my birthday cast on. You're seeing on the right side. Yes, it's my birthday cast on with the yarn that my son Theo brought me from Cardiff, where he was at a science conference for his PhD. It's the Magic Dots shawl by Intermstein. A beautiful pattern, and a very, very funny pattern, the way the little dots are made, and each time you have one repeat, you increase the width of the dots. I'm sure that if you want a bigger shawl, you can make another repeat with additional dots and a larger border. So she just talks about the border, but I guess you can make another repeat, a larger repeat. A blue I-cord border, and that yarn is from Mariner's yarn. It's I do not recall the quality of the yarn. It's merino, I guess. I think it's DK weight yarn. So I had 2 balls of this gray color. I have less than half a ball left. I have part of the skin of blue, more than half of the blue. I haven't casted on yet with the caramelly, cinnamon, bright yellow type of color, and I have used the red one. So I wanted to cast on all of the colors during my birthday month, that was last month, but I did not. So maybe I hope I will cast on before the end of the year. I think I will make mitts with the yellow one. So do I recommend the pattern? Yes, I like the central ridge, an I-cord border that you knit as you go, an I-cord cast off that you knit as you knit, and a very, very pleasant pattern. And I had, at the same time, I bought the t-shirt, and I will most certainly make the t-shirt with the same type of pattern for this summer. I'm not sure I have yarn in my stash for that, but I may not knit it in cotton. I may knit in some other, yarn. But yes, a very elegant shawl, quick knit. How many days did I take? 8 days to knit that. I was mostly knitting on that one, and yeah, I like it a lot. It's very drapey, very flowy. Not extremely warm, and this yarn is not extremely warm, but for a lighter day, a less cold day than today, it's a perfect companion for your more formal days, if you need to dress up a bit more. Next, and I forgot to talk about when I was talking about all the little presents, Paulin, my youngest son, rides his bike a lot, and he asked for me. It's quite, during a phone call or a video call. We have a family video call every Sunday. So I casted on and finished in 5 days, 6 days, the mitts, because I was knitting back on my sorrel sweater. Once again, the same acrylic gray yarn, hello Mr. Onyx, that I used to knit his girlfriend's Musselburgh hat. And the pattern is Warm Mitts by Tracy Hill. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I like the gusset a lot, and I found this pattern because someone somewhere said it was their favorite gusset, and I do agree with that. It's very stretchy, 2 by 2 ribs. You can have a look at the pattern. And yeah, I won't make these ones for me with the yellow caramelly color I have from that remains from Theo's present. But I have other patterns in mind, and it's yeah, it's gonna be in there as a present for Christmas for my youngest son. 2 more, I promise, 2 more and we are done. So next is the Mura Cole. So the one I made with the Ren Merino yarn Theo gave me. The Mura Cole is by Olga Buraya Kefelian. I do encourage you to knit that pattern. It has a very high visual effect, a highly textured, it's a highly textured pattern, type of an origami type of pattern, of stitch pattern. It's very easy to make. You can, you can learn the rhythm of the pattern very easily. I made 1 additional repeat, not in width but in length, with that yarn. And once again, people are stopping me and telling me, where did you get that code? I made it. And I do encourage you to knit that pattern. It's very easy and it's very impactful. And depending on, the color of the yarn you choose, you can browse all the finished objects in all the projects in Ravelry. You can have, very subdued colors and, neutral colors. And I think that bright red, lightens gloomy winter days. And it's not very warm. It's the same as the Magical Dots shawl. It's not very warm. But anyway, I like a lot the look of it and the feel of it, and I wear it not every day, of course, but most days. Next is the final project I'm going to be talking about for today. I may have more projects up to the end of the year because we are at mid-December, but I won't have much time to report and talk about all of that because my kids are going to be home, so I'm not sure how I'm going to be uploading during the end of the year season. It's another Manhattan hat that I made for myself. So if you are a regular viewer, you know that this hat also has a story, so I like the pattern. The mohair is from the Pyrenees that I brought back 2 years or maybe 3 years ago. 2 years ago, and I knit coals for my co-workers for Christmas with the mohair, and each of one of them, there were 5 of them, had got to choose their colors, and 2 of them wanted that bright fuchsia pink, and I had a ball and a half left. So I decided, and it was really on a whim, like that in a morning during I was drinking my tea, and I said, I want to cast on that very bright pink fuchsia mohair I have left, and I make a hat. Several people had told me that, you know, these bright colors did fit me and well, and you know, sometimes you say that I've influenced you to do this or that, choose that pattern or that yarn or whatever, and you influenced me to knit that bright pink hat. One problem is I did not make the small size. I made the medium size, and I think I could even have made the larger size for babies or kids. So it was very, very big. So I felted it. The felting process made the fabric much denser, and it's quite convenient when you have a lot of wind, a lot of cold wind, as we do have right now. And as it was still a teensy bit too big, I placed an elastic thread at the top of the hat, at the cast-on of the hat, and another one where I fold the brim so that it holds onto my head by itself, and it sits well on my head. And that hat with a bright fuchsia pink lipstick is enough to brighten a cold winter and dark day. So the sun came out, and I need to rush a bit, an hour and a half, oh my God, because I need to eat and I need to go back to work. Yeah, a very, very enjoyable knit. That's the last one I'm going to be reporting on. If you are like me with more neutral colors, do not hesitate to make accessories with brighter colors or lipstick with brighter colors, because it's a small commitment, and then if you don't like the lipstick, you take it off, and if you don't like the hat, you give it away. And yeah, it was I'm gonna finish with that bright pink and bright red colors, saying that all of these knits for all of this year did bring me lots of joy and happiness, allowed me to place joy and happiness into my life, and I do hope your knitting does the same for you, and that, you know, watching my videos, a lot of you have told me it did bring you joy and happiness, and place a little bit of joy and happiness into your own life. Because, you know, we do have to actively work on that. It's not going to be coming all by itself, especially even if the day today is quite bright, especially in these darker times, war times. We're going to have some snow tonight. And yeah, we do need to work on that. And I'm not saying that we are all responsible for everything that happens to us. But what we can work on is the way we position ourselves towards what's happening to us. And of course, there are some extremely important things that do not apply. It's not that what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the everyday small little things that bug you. You can decide how you react to it and place joy, happiness, bright fuchsia pink, bright red, bright orange into your life and light a new day. Well, yeah, an hour, more than an hour and a half. I do appreciate if you've been watching the video up to now. I do appreciate your presence. I do appreciate each and every one of you. And yeah, I thank you for watching. And I will see you next time.